My guests today aren't just running a cafe, they're on a mission. Every ingredient questioned, every supplier vetted, every product made with the same care they'd want for their own family. And when customers kept asking where to get the good stuff at home, Mitch and Brydie started making it for them. This is Through Your Lens, and this is Mitch and Brydie. Mitch and Brydie, thank you for joining me and coming in the studio today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Actually, this is a first, because I've never done a double podcast. I haven't had two guests. So I've always been solo. So this is a first. Congratulations.
Thank you for having me.
Stoked.
I feel like I'm the extra, so thank you.
No, you're not.
Yeah, I am.
I contacted you first, and then Mitch is like, can I come? And I was like, okay, Mitch, if you have to, we'll bring you along. No, thanks for coming in. So today I want to talk about, your business owners, you're a surfer, you're a mum, a dad. There's so many different journeys in your story, which I love. And for me, it's inspiring for me because you're always looking to improve. So those sort of themes are going to run throughout the conversations. But I want to start at the Sunshine Coast and growing up on the Sunshine Coast. Mitch, you're obviously a surfer. Brydie, do you get on the board?
I have done. I say that I've been learning for, 16 years. I've been learning for 16 years. So.
Yeah, but a love of nature and
yeah.
Well, what's it like? I know I moved here, in my early 20s. But what is it truly like to grow up on the Sunshine Coast? Do you know how good you've got it? And, what does life look like for a kid, I guess, growing up on the Sunshine Coast?
For sure. I think it's an incredible place. Like I've traveled to so many places around the world and I've always wanted to come home, which is something that when you get to a place, oh, how beautiful is this? But the Sunny Coast just has something that it definitely it brings you back all the time. And it's something that I love.
Yeah, absolutely. My family's from Toowoomba, so I feel very lucky that Dad got a job here and we moved just before I was born, and it was beautiful growing up here. It was very different to what it is now. So it would take us 5 minutes to get places. Now it's 20 in the middle of the day. It's expanding quickly, but it's not a bad thing. It brings opportunities to people, including our kids. So I think my friends, when I finished high school, they dispersed and adventured everywhere, and they've all come back to raise their families. And we just sort of knew that this is where it's at. We didn't need to go looking for a bigger, better.
Yeah. And surfing's always been a part of your life, Mitch. Was it ever like you did some competitions, but was it like, did you ever want to go down the competitive route, or how much did you know that surfing was going to continue through your life?
Yeah, so I've always surfed. Like Dad had me on a board at 4 years old, and we're kind of like fifth generation on the Sunshine Coast. So he always knew the spots to go, and it was really cool. So I really enjoyed surfing, and then I kind of took it up professionally and then ended up competing and was one of the youngest on the world tour at the time, actually, for longboarding. So I got to kind of travel around the world, but Mum and Dad always supporting. So I used to have an M&D sticker on my board for Mum and Dad, which is pretty cool. And
the sponsors,
the main sponsors, and they're like, yeah, you can do this. So yeah, I got to fortunately travel, and then I was doing my trade at the time, but surfing's kind of always been in my blood and my DNA. And I'm always we've got Noosa so close to us too, and Alex Head, so two beautiful point breaks that we got to always kind of surf and sharpen the teeth on, which was nice.
What's it like to be a professional surfer? That sounds like a dream job to me. Is that the reality though when you're traveling, or?
Yeah, it's the dream. Yeah, it's so good. You kind of don't have really too many worries, getting to surf every day. It's the only worry really is the wind, it's just really the wind and the waves. So yeah, it's something that I kind of chased that dream for quite a long time at a young age. And then I'd do carpentry while I was home, do my apprenticeship. So and school at the same time. So I was always juggling a few things when I was young. But it was also kept it exciting for me.
We just spoke about it off camera, but can you tell me the story about how you guys first met? When did this happen? Where did it happen?
That was one of my other juggles.
Yeah.
Going out.
No, we met at a really classy place called 2 Woody B.
Sounds classy.
Yeah, very classy, very sweaty, but classy. It was funny, actually.
Yeah.
I will tell you the full story. I actually went out the night before. Oh, no, we met Boxing Day. I went out Christmas Eve and I lost my license. And I was sort of Boxing Day sales, like roaming for the bars.
What?
Yeah, yeah, by foot.
Bridie loves shopping, always has,
Yeah.
always will.
Yeah, that's right. That's in my DNA. But I ran into these people that we were with on Christmas Eve, and he said, "Oh, I've got your license." So we walked out.
Oh, when you said you lost your license,
Oh no!
I thought you meant. I was a bit scared to say, "How did you lose your license?" Oh, you literally lost your card. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, the physical card. No. I've always
driving
had
again, or?
my license.
Okay. Just clarify that. You just physically lost the card, but you still had your You still had all your
I'm
points.
a good girl. I follow rules. But then, so we went out and like the chances of running into these guys and like our friends and seeing them in this busy plaza, find my license, my physical license. And then it allows me to go out with my friends to a Krispy Kreme event, which Mitch was also at. And
Krispy
yeah.
Kreme event.
Yeah, it's good.
the DJ of the moment.
Oh, right. Sorry, I don't know. I thought you meant.
And you thought donuts.
No, that's what they used to call it. I can't remember who ran
That
it.
must have been the DJ's name.
No, yeah, something happened. But yeah, that was like the,
Yeah.
I don't know, once a month thing.
Anyways, long story short, the odds were against us, but the universe gave me my license back so that I could meet Mitch.
It was meant to be.
Meant
It was meant to be.
Yeah.
You were able to get in with your license.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Otherwise, I would have been at home and Mitch would have
that.
met someone else.
And
Yeah.
that was when you were
I just-
19.
yeah, I would have just been surfing and
Yeah, that's true.
yeah.
What a catch. What a catch. Beautiful. And so surfing the world, beautiful girlfriend, 240V. Life's looking pretty good at this stage.
Yeah.
At what stage did you decide that you want to create a surf brand and you created Mitch Sermon Surfboards? Like, how did that come about?
I used to obviously surf a lot of different shapes at the time, and I was kind of in the bay. I went to America as well in between this. I'm trying to like reduce the whole, what would you call it? Like my whole childhood into this, so it doesn't sound like it doesn't go for 3 hours.
Yeah, surf brand. How do you start a surf brand? But obviously there's a lot of moving parts to that.
So many moving parts, but you get to surf boards of other shapers that excite you and they go great. And there's in the back of your mind, why does that work? And like fortunate to be able to be in those shaping bays with some of the shapers that are not here today, and some are. So yeah, I just kind of started shaping a couple of boards that were so bad, and continued to shape bad boards, and then got on some other good shapers boards and learned from that at that time.
And you're a chippy by trade?
Yeah, so I'm a chippy.
So you like working with your hands?
Yeah, I always had that creative flair that I kind of would like to build whatever it was at the time. Like I built a shed at mum and dad's house off to the side, and I'd always just be doing something. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go and try and build a surfboard, but not just shape it. Like we created it from start to finish. So, glass it, sand it, polish it. Dad always helped me polish because I'm so bad at it. So, the difference between like creating a surfboard and shaping one is a different thing. Like doing it the whole way through the processes, you kind of could, like when a shaper shapes a board and doesn't understand how to glass the board, usually the glasser has a hard time because of that reason. So you kind of like teaching so many steps to yourself along the way, which took a lot of time and energy and money at the time. So
do you remember, sorry to interrupt, but is there a point where there's trial and error in making boards? Was there a moment where you finally feel like you reached a version of shaping where you're like, oh, I can do this now. Like this is actually a good board. This rides really well. How long did that take? 6 months or 6 years? Like how?
Oh, still to this day.
Oh, always refining.
Yeah, just always evolving. And I think that's the most exciting thing about it. And I think if you feel like you've cracked the code, or, you've learnt how to shape the best board ever, that's when you do stop learning. And you see that in shapers, and they are exciting to me, but then they continue to do the same thing, which doesn't excite me. And you have those conversations with them and it's like, hey, yeah, I've nailed it.
Yeah.
But then you've got someone else coming through that's just created something that's so much better because, they're the person that's hungrier. So you always just got to be that little bit better every single day. And that's what I feel like with shaping is exciting, where like when you build a house, like it's a system to build that house, and you can build it well. Okay, you can change the colors of it and the layout of it, but there's very similar transitions into the system of the house. And for me, when I was like doing stip frames all the time, it's just that system every day. It was like repetitive, where like shaping was so creative in a way that I was just always learning. So yeah, I definitely, maybe 3 to 4 years in, started making stuff that was definitely, it could go along a wave.
Yeah.
But before then was pretty rubbish stuff.
Well, I can speak firsthand. He's shaped beautiful boards, and he shaped my boy Jude a beautiful board. He hasn't ridden it yet. He's only 2. He's only 5. Sorry, but I get to surf it quite a fair bit. It's fantastic.
Tom likes Jude's board.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, creativity has always been a theme, it seems like, and curiosity with both of you in all your businesses and things that you do. The surfboard, just going back to the surfboard business at Mitchell Sermon Surfboards, you're sending them all over the world. It's not just like a little shed that you're just doing for locals around the place. Like it's a business. It's a big business. Like you're shaping a lot of boards every year, right? Why did you decide to open a cafe and start a new business on top of that? Like, were you not busy enough? Like, haven't you got enough on your plate?
Yeah, well, I feel like when I was young and I was like schooling, chipping, surfing, and then like just doing so many other things in between, I like to stay busy. And it was really funny at that stage. I had a lot of shops that were interested in the brand, but they wouldn't take it on because it was such a new brand. So they wouldn't give us a head start or, even put my boards in the store. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a cafe so people come in, have a coffee, check out our boards, maybe like buy a secondhand one. We know that we can make boards and they'll enjoy it. So that's I had no idea how to start the cafe.
So it was more around like having a showroom and the coffee will be there to...
Yeah.
I see.
I actually cut my teeth at on hospo at Montezuma's in Mooloolaba doing bar work at night.
Yep.
So I do bar work kind of like 4 to 5 nights a week. In between this, just juggling and trying to figure out how the hospo game worked. And Jan Russell was the lady that was the boss there, and Bruce Russell, and they really helped me with glass in the start, with like go do it, get it, it was kind of cool.
So you always had an interest in that hospitality and service. Was there a bit of that always there?
Yeah, it's like creativity, like you're making cocktails and just fun things and like learning people's names and then them coming back, and I don't know, I enjoyed that.
And Brydie, can you remember that moment when Mitch said, hey, I think we should open a cafe? Like, how did that land with you?
Well, it's funny. It was solely Mitch's sort of groove in the beginning, and I was like, yeah, I'll support you in this. But we were in Bali, I remember, with our old business partners, and we were sort of just like looking around, and Mitch obviously shaped surfboards, and he was a photographer in the surf game, and they said, let's open a gallery and just happen to sell coffee kind of vibe. And so at that point, it was very much Mitch and Seb, and I had a job that I left to support because I was at university as well. So just sort of was going to be on the roster and, be there as an employee.
Yeah, you're studying to be a teacher at this point, like in the almost finished sort of thing.
Yeah. I was in my second year.
Yeah.
And
so you're like, yeah, sure, Mitch, sounds like a good idea.
Yeah. I was like, this is fun. My dad, meanwhile, is thinking, holy shit, why is she leaving her stable job to go and help her man do this? But
did you fully understand what you're getting yourselves into?
No, absolutely not.
No idea.
No idea.
Do you think?
But maybe that was our superpower.
Yeah. Do you think that is a superpower sometimes in business, not to fully understand and be a bit naive about what you're doing so you can go for it and go reach for high heights?
Yes.
How naive were you?
Yeah, very.
On a scale of 1 to 10, we were 11. Like, we were very naive.
Yeah, I remember like the cafe being so slow that I changed from Telstra to Optus like in a day. There was that no one would come in at the start, so I just be like, I'm going to change my, because
what, to save money or to...
The reception there was still bad. It is today, but it was bad at the time. And so that's how slow the cafe was. There was no one coming in the doors.
Yeah, like he could be on hold for on Telstra the
hours.
whole time and no customers will come in. But it was okay because we weren't doing it for the money. You know, Mitch was doing it because he wanted to showcase his surfboards and that was his passion. And making money and running a business was second to that.
What were some of the early lessons? You had business partners, so there's relationship stuff there going on, and you've got staff, I assume. You had, or was it just you guys were behind the coffee machine?
Yeah, it was just us for a little bit,
Yeah, it was us
and
for a
then
little
we so slowly gained some team members. Hey,
Can you remember that like first person you hired? Was that scary? That first feeling of like going, oh, we'll pay for someone, or did that come quite naturally?
I'm just trying to think. I think it was little Steffi, who's still customer today. She was only 14 or whatever the minimum work age was. So
She was only 12, but she was doing a good job. We paid her in cookies.
yeah, she was happy. So yeah, I think it was. I felt a responsibility to her parents. I remember that. I remember thinking, I'm going to look after this girl, and she stayed with us for 5 or 6 years, I think. But I think, again, for me, it was a bit of that naivety. And I had some experience in hospitality as well. And so I knew how to do it and it was fun and it was...
Yeah, Brydie started at Donut King. So she was a gangster.
You knew Donut King.
Yeah.
You knew the industry.
Yeah.
You know how to sell sweet treats.
Yeah, I can sell a donut, man.
So when did were there any stressful moments? Were there moments where you went like, oh, is this really, have we made the right call here? Moments of doubt? Or were you always like, oh, we'll just make it work?
Well, Brydie and I are yin and yang, so I would have just been powering to make it work. Brides did the pays, so for me, I was kind of just in the creative flair, doing my thing, trying to work on building a business that I wasn't 100% sure on how to build. So you'll probably be able to answer that a lot better than myself.
I think I'm just live reflection right here, but I think that it was tough. Like I was doing full-time uni and I was also working in the cafe full-time. That I was very naive to when I left my 15-hour-a-week job to go and do that. And then on top of that, the behind-the-scenes stuff. But then you just put one foot in front of the other. You know, when you're in the thick of it, when you're in the mud, you just got to lift that leg higher and walk through. And that I actually can confidently say with my wise old age, we're pretty good at just getting it done. You know, blinkers on, move through it. Yeah. It'll pass.
Yeah.
And
so, grind.
Yeah, I think that we were too deep to turn around. There was a point when our business partners wanted to either sell or, you know, us buy them out or they wanted to leave. Move on, that's the word I'm looking for. I wanted to also move on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, absolutely. And it just was not an option.
So 3 votes to 1, Mitch. You were like, no, I'm staying. Is that your position?
I'm pretty driven with things, but Bride's always been so supportive, so I'll also support that back.
Yeah. And so.
Is he stubborn, Brydie?
Yeah, he's a little bit stubborn, a little bit. But maybe that's his superpower because, I think it's worked out for us. I think that you had a bit of fire in your belly and you knew that it was something and, he didn't give up on it.
What was that feeling like? Business partners leave, now it's all with you and you're a little bit resistant to that. Yeah. Like, did that change quickly? Did that resistance go away and you're like, okay, well, got to roll the sleeves up here? Like, what was that feeling like once it was all yours and all up to you?
Yeah, I just worked harder. I feel like people don't talk about the grinding side of things. Like, you do have to put a lot of energy and effort into it if you want it to work. Like, I was, as much as we don't talk about it, like I was building surfboards in Caloundra at the time. So I'd drive there in the mornings or like my days off or night, which Brides would support. And, you know, shape, glass, sand, finish the board, meet up with the customer or hope they come to the cafe. If they didn't, try my best to get them to the cafe so they buy a coffee to help the culture kind of built in there.
Yeah.
So yeah, when we took it,
So every customer counted. Like you just one person getting in there was what you were after.
yeah, photo at the front with the board, like, hopefully they order a coffee. If they didn't, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Absolutely. I think I felt a sense of relief when we went all in, us, to be honest. It's like business partners are beautiful and these guys were beautiful, but their time came to an end and there's no use ignoring that, I don't think. And so we were both wholeheartedly in it. And prior to that, I was doing my internship as a teacher, which meant that I was full-time teaching, but in the learning space of it all, being in an internship, which required obviously lesson plans and the day-to-day that a teacher goes through, but also assignments on top of that. And Mitch had an opportunity in Portugal, and it was to shape over there in Portugal, and he took it. So I had to pick up the slack in the cafe at the time. So when we purchased the cafe off our partners, it was like, oh, I can just do one thing.
Yeah, okay. Something nice about that, isn't there, like having the responsibility, like it's all on me, okay, no other choice, like it just gets rid of any grey area. It's like, I got to make this work somehow.
Yeah.
Amazing. And then, I don't know about the timeline of events, doesn't matter, but we all know what happened in 2020, COVID hit. What was that like in the hospitality industry? I remember, Mitch, that's actually at a time my office was just down the road from Glass, and COVID, for all the horrible things that happened, it also banded community together. And I remember, doing some videos for you to help the marketing get going. And I remember that real sense of community then. What was your sense and feeling of the time? And how did you get through that?
Yeah, like we always do, we just kind of grinded our teeth or grit our teeth and just continue to keep moving forward. But it was a really uncertain time for everyone because I guess no one knew what was happening, but the cool thing about it for us was the community and the culture that we'd already created was pretty incredible. So everyone was kind of trying to support us in hours or after hours, So we just opened kind of like a bar, just went and did another renovation and put in some beer taps, got a liquor license and did a couple of nights just before this happened. So I was like, well, we were full of stock of beers and kegs and, they're pretty, 20-litre kegs and big kegs that were lining up out the back. So we had so much stock and I was kind of tripping out with that. So during the day, we were like closed door. You would have seen it, Tommy. Like we had like a table so you couldn't come in, and then we're selling pasta and bits and pieces. We're up at the
toilet paper rolls and bits and pieces of produce. And, there was a bit like, I can't remember, it was a 1.5 meter rule or whatever, but there were people out the front, like the community came.
It was massive. Yeah, it's probably like some of the better trade that we've done. To be honest.
Well.
Yeah, we did well. Yeah, community really supported us. But after hours they'd come down with their growlers and I'd fill their beers up out the back. And probably shouldn't say that on this, but they're the things you got to do in business to continue to go forward and create a little bit of growth. Not kind of just sit down and go, okay, we're defeated here, because that's it's easy to do that. I always say it's easy to close the doors and keep it open, and that's a time where it's like, are we gonna keep the door open or are we gonna close it? And it's like, no, we'll keep it open.
Yeah,
the community showed that.
Yeah, amazing. There's been so many iterations of Glass over the years and renovations. I feel like I've been in a few times going, oh, they've changed that. Oh, it's looking good in here again. And like, it's just, you're always up for improvement, you can see, which is really cool. How have you seen it, I guess, more recently with the look of Glass and the menu even? Like, how has it changed over the last few years, would you say?
You go, boss.
It's a big question.
Bridie's mind is so sharp. She just remembers everything, where mine is like a little bit dull these days.
You're onto your mind's already like, what's the next business I can make?
Yeah. I'm over here reminiscing, which is like, there's no time for that. I feel the question was, what was the question?
How has Glass changed?
How's Glass changed?
Yeah. What's the latest evolution?
Yeah. Well, we were 22 when we opened Glass, and I think that it was when Glass opened, it was a 22-year-old own a cafe. And now,
Fresh out of 240V.
yeah.
Yeah.
Donut man.
Without the sticky carpets.
Yeah, that's it. Smells a bit nicer. But it's evolved with us, absolutely. And as we've matured, it's matured. As we've gained knowledge, we've brought that into the cafe. And when when you know better, you do better. And that is absolutely what's gone down at Glass, I'd say. It's been a fun time growing with the cafe.
Yeah. Like I've noticed from the outside looking in that there's been a real focus on seed oils and, I mean, not using seed oils and the different types of products you can use on the menu and in your foods. Where's that come from? Why like put such an emphasis on that? It'd be cheaper not to do it, right? Like, where's it come from?
Yeah. That comes from our hearts, I guess. Like Mitch has, everyone's had a health journey, and Mitch had a bit of a scare when we were younger because he was shaping surfboards in the factory and loaded up with chemicals. It was a bit of a load on his liver. And so that led us down to research and the research paths. And we did a few pretty strict protocols for cleaning out and supporting his liver. And then, like anything, when you're in a rabbit hole of new knowledge and it resonates, you go real deep, right? And so we had a menu that was yummy, it was great, but we were finding ourselves making swaps a lot because of the way we chose to live and eat, and being a mother, breastfeeding, I was conscious of what was being, I was putting into my body that would then create my baby, you know. Yeah. She's made up of all these precious cells. They needed to be the utmost quality. And so the chef at the time was sort of like, what's going on here? Why do you guys have limited options on the menu? Why aren't you sort of exploring some things? And we said, we don't want to be tricky, And he said, well, why don't we create a menu that reflects the way that you guys live, the way that you are, and your philosophy around food. And so we brought on Sheridan Austin, the beautiful Sheridan, and she helped us create not only a healthy seed oil free menu, but she created meals with us that were balanced. So they had obviously fat, carbohydrates, probiotics, so like a complete meal. And we're really excited because it meant that we could eat everything on the menu. It meant that we could feed it all to our children. We didn't sort of second guess. And I think at that point in the revolution of Glass, we became really like 2 feet in, really passionate about the space. And we thought, hang on a second, we can actually make a bit of a difference here.
Yep. Awesome. Well said. Few questions there. What are seed oils? Why should we try our best to avoid them? And where do they show up? Where are they?
Unfortunately, they're nearly everywhere in the supermarket. So seed oils are oils that are extracted from seeds. But if you think about seeds and how tiny they are, they need to press a lot of seeds to create oil. And so therefore they use chemicals and things like, this is simple terms, but things like petrol and formaldehyde and things like that to get the most out of the seed, and then but also to cut it so it goes further. Then we obviously eat the seed oil, and our bodies are made up of our cells, and our cells recognize it as an oil and they think it's a good oil and it replicates, but in the wrong way. So ingesting seed oils is problematic because you're obviously ingesting all of the chemicals that they cut it with and produce it with. Your body is being made up of free radicals. And
that, I guess like when you look at it as well, like it's so interesting when you're cooking in seed oils and you've got someone that's rocking up out the back that's picking up the old seed oil to create a biodiesel or to be able to put it in their car, and they want that seed oil to...
Who's that? Is that what happens?
You can, 100%.
Yeah, people contact you. Hey, can we get your old oil?
Oh, really?
Yeah. To make a biodiesel out of it, or like a fuel or bio.
And that's the alarm bells go off then, like, hang on, what? You're putting that in your car And I'm putting that in me.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's the reality of, like, obviously through the stages of like the Industrial Revolution and the world that we live in now, there's so many things that you don't read the back of the packet on. And then when you do start, I guess, looking at those things or bringing that into like a day-to-day thing that you do when you go down the shop, there's hundreds of different ingredients. And take a photo of it, put it into ChatGPT and ask Chat, what is that? You know, on a simple, like I'm a simple human, and I'll just like look into that, take a photo before Chat was Chat, and then just start researching what is that, you know. And you'd ask people like Cindy O'Meara or you know, Sheridan, like, what's this? And oh, that's actually this. Oh my goodness, what does it do to the body? And okay, the way that affects the body is the 1%ers, and those 1%ers compound, you know, over time. And that's something that, you know, we don't think of at the time. It's like, I don't want to go to the gym today. But you go to the gym like 3-4 times a week, that compounds and it helps the body to become the body that you're trying to create. And it's the same with the food. Like nourishing yourself and eating nutritional food, those little 1%ers every single time help the body, and the body absorbs that and uses it in a way. So fats are always something that the body will use and replicate in the cell. So if you can feed the body the good fats, then the body then is allowed to create the good cells. So you see these people and you're like, oh, they look really healthy, but they're feeding their body good nutritional food. And that's like, you go and you see like a farmed fish, and then you go and see like a wild caught fish, and people are like, why eat a wild caught fish? Well, look at the flesh. That's the same in the human body. You know, the human body's going to replicate from what is in the stomach or the gut and use that to create your muscles and your body and your live cells that are running through that. So it's just your ecosystem and how much you really care about it. And when you're eating things that are put into a car, that's not made for human consumption.
And so talk to me, actually, this might be a good time to bring up why you stopped using seed oil. I mean, we know why you stopped using seed oils. It's education and understanding of what's going on with it. So what did you do next? And I think you've got a little show and tell for us.
Got a few little products that, I guess the more you start educating yourself on products and reading packets and going into, I guess, health food stores, and still, like, you go in health food stores today and I get excited to see all these new products, but you look at them and you turn around and look at the label on the back and you're not so excited. So I was having that a lot the more that I read into things. And, you know, we live in a beautiful world now that we have access to a lot of resources that you can really self-educate yourself. And so I started educating and was taking, you know, like daily pre-probiotics. But, you know, these things are like, we got 100 different products in this little vial. And you're like, oh, cool. Like, I'm going to get a heap of nutrition out of that. But not knowing that 98% of it was synthetic, you know.
Are you talking about the products you might see on a supermarket shelf in the health food section, or supplements, or
like a daily pre-probiotic?
Sure.
You'd take that, you'd buy it. It would cost you, you know, $90. Think you're doing a good thing, but not knowing that when you actually looked into it, that, you know, most of the products in that was just synthetically derived.
Right.
So
made in a factory somewhere.
So we started creating. I guess it's like a short form. We come back to that with Glass. We started creating products that we wanted to give to the community that would help them, nourish them, and be the best human that they could be. And we started with 3 blends, like a cacao, which had incredible ingredients in it. And that was like a hot chocolate we still have today called Dreamy. And then we have Mountain Greens, which is like a pre-probiotic with a bunch of greens in it. And then we have like an immunity one, which is based around just like a turmeric based one. Those are our 3, right? So we started there.
Was it hard, like, going back to the chef going, hey, why don't you just make foods that you guys would actually eat? You know, it sounds to me that you've gone from pleasing the masses to doing something true to yourselves and what you believe in. Was that did you have a conversation around that and go, look, I think we need to do this, or you just push through?
It was a funny time because this was like 5 years ago that we sort of switched to
This philosophy.
This philosophy. And it was, I'd say, maybe the beginning of this movement. And there was a lot of pushback in the sense that we lost customers who would come in for the banana smoothie full of ice cream and, you know, that sort of thing, because their taste buds were used to that.
Yeah.
And
what's this healthy stuff you got?
Yeah. Hang on a second. And so, but I think that whole experience was actually a really big life lesson for us because, like I said before, when we opened Glass, it was for the right reasons. It was to connect with the community, to bring the community together, a space where everybody felt they belonged. That was a big part of it for us. And the business part just was second to that. And then we drifted away from that as Mitch lent into Surfboards more and I was full-time teaching. We had a beautiful manager in who did just the most incredible job. And she was running, you know, I forget what I was going to say.
She was the best.
She was the best. What was I going to say though? What was I saying?
You were saying, sorry, interrupted you. You were saying that you were busy teaching, you were busy with the surfboards.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you weren't focusing on those things as much then.
So, we were busy in our own areas of passion, and the cafe was, I guess it was quite passive to us because the manager was just doing a marvelous job, and we just trusted her with our whole being and let her do what she needed to do. And then when I was on maternity leave, I was available to be in there more often, and this all sort of happened at the same time, and it reminded us that. So we switched over, and it was actually a wonderful decision. Whilst we lost some customers, we gained a whole heap more who were also passionate about this and making conscious choices in their diet. And it really reminded us that if something's authentic, it's going to succeed.
Yeah, nice. I love that. And okay, back to the seed oils and that, you know, conscious decision to move away from that. What did you move to? How can you replace a seed oil? What are the options there?
So we just contacted our suppliers, and we at home cooked with tallow, ghee and olive oil. And they said, yeah, sure, we've got this great Frytol that is wonderful, like all marvellous. Mitch is
What's Frytol? Is tallow?
That's the only commercial-based tallow you can buy for a commercial space.
Gotcha.
So like when you go into the store and you buy a jar, it's not Frytol. It is a good tallow if it's like grass-fed and finished. But Frytol for like commercial fryers that need 15 to 20 litres kind of thing, you need to get big amounts.
Yeah. Sure.
And we sort of, Mitch is, I think we touched on this before, how quickly he moves. He was just like gangbusters. Once he had this spark in his heart to change Glass to Glass Wholefoods, he was like, let's make it happen. So we didn't really, we had a lesson there in our due diligence around Frytol, and we actually learned after the fact that Frytol isn't just tallow.
Okay. So you thought you were doing the right thing. You're like, yes, we're on the right track here. Yeah. And then you learned maybe not the case. What?
Yeah, we're always inspecting ingredients, and actually someone brought it to our attention, didn't they?
Yeah, just on one of the Gut Cleanse Facebook pages that I was actually participating at the time. And it's quite a large one. It's my buddies down at Corrective Culture. Shout out to those boys. They do an incredible job. He actually called us out and he said, hey, I walked around the back of the cafe to go to the toilet and I saw a Frytol can. Have you looked into that? And I look into everything as my brain moves really quickly, and I was like, that's actually one thing I haven't looked into, and it's tallow, so it's fine. I better go check it out. So I checked it out, and I noticed that you don't have you can just sit it in the corner ambient temperature for a long period of time, which is fine. You can with tallows, but after a certain amount of time, things have a best before date. Keep them in the fridge, or we try and keep our tallow in the fridge all the time just to keep it fresh. The stuff we use at home in a jar, we use ambient temperature. People ask me this all the time. So it's really good education for them now to listen to that. But that's how we run it, at home, ambient. So I was looking into this Frytol that we're using, and it has like an anti-foaming agent in it. So what happens is at the rendering plants, they don't have to render it as much. So it's got lots of water in it. But if you put water into a deep fryer at a really high temp, it's going to explode. So they put a chemical in that so you can run high temp real quick. Okay. But they also put a preservative in it so you can put it out in the sun for a long time and it's not going to go rancid. So what it was made up of was a very small amount of the product that we were chasing. So for me, I'm looking at that going, hey, that actually doesn't sit right with me and it doesn't sit right with us feeding the community. Pretty much the same thing that we were. So what we did was we sourced our own fat. We mince it, we render it, we put it straight into our deep fryers and we sell it in jars. So that was a product that we created and it's a triple filtered tallow. So you have to really filter it right down, which is just here. This is it.
Bad boy.
Wow. So you really went the extra mile to create this yourself.
It's got like a little bit of a yellower scent to it because, yeah, it's on real tight because we
I got that, Brydie. Don't worry about that.
Get it, Tommy. Yeah, she's on tight because that one was actually.
Let me just check out the design first. Beautiful.
Tommy approve?
Tommy approve.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Gorgeous. Oh yeah, that smells fresh.
Yeah, so because it's rendered so many times, it's such a pure tallow that it's actually equal to cosmetic grade.
Yeah, that essentially is.
Yeah.
And where we source that from, so we source that from a place that this is like, if you go into the weeds of something, any product or anything in general, it's like you with camera equipment. You go in the weeds with it, you get the best of the best and you know why. I've got no idea with your stuff. But with the tallow, I know. So what happens is when it goes into a processing plant, most processing plants won't segregate grass-fed and finished to grain. So you get different colors in it. Yep. So the place that we use it from, we have to buy a ton of this at a time. So we have 4 tons at a time kind of coming, 3 stored. Yeah, so it's a long process and we know where it comes from. The reason why it's got a little bit of yellow in there is because of the tannins in it. So grass-fed and finished cows, if you look at the fat of that to a grain-fed one, grain-fed is really white because of just eating grain, they don't move. So the grain makes the fat go white. When they're eating grass, the tannins in the grass makes the fat go a little bit yellow. So
I've got to insert this in. James Colquhoun from Food Matters used to always say, you aren't what you eat, you are what you eat eats.
Yes,
that's
true. Absolutely.
It's so true.
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks, James. I know James is such a nice dude. So there's like, in any product that you bring to market, you want to do the research on it. And we didn't do the research on Frytol or that product we were using. Now we have. We know that our fryers have the best fat in them or the best oil, whatever you want to call it, in the game because we third-party tested it as well. So we went down and got like a jar of a grass-fed and finished tallow and ours. And we were 30% better on a third-party test that we got done in Melbourne, which can send you the test if you need.
Yes, please. I want, I'll take your word.
Yeah.
I believe you.
So we do that with everything. So like off the back end of it, like we just started really getting the weeds with the products that we brought to our website or to our market, to our community. And it's incredible. People come in and they buy it once and they will continue to buy from us because they trust. But it's also, you can taste it.
I was going to say, is it something that you just know you're doing well for your body or is it something you can taste in the food?
You can taste it. Like you just smelt it then, like it wouldn't have smelt meaty.
Yeah.
Man, you can smell a meaty tallow that hasn't been rendered much and they're very rancid smelling.
Okay.
Yeah.
They also, like when you put them on your skin, some people with tallow they're like, hey, I get like really bad rashes. Tallow shouldn't be like that.
What do? You put tallow on your skin? Give you a healthy glow?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's a glow. Yeah. Your body. Yeah. Doesn't know. So yeah, you use it on your skin for sure. Like people use our raw tallow, but we also have a skincare product that we got in the weeds with as well. So
what have we got here?
Well, this is a Mozzie balm.
Oh, nice.
So it's funny. We're always like, I guess, working backwards from what we need when we're creating products. And our little Rexy gets really sunburned. He's got my skin and he gets annihilated in the sun, but also annihilated by mosquitoes. So we used that problem and found the solution because
it's funny reading this and reading the ingredients. Like it's rare you see anything with just stuff you can understand.
Exactly.
And, like
exactly.
where are the numbers? There's
yeah. Nothing in that jar of Mozzie Balm has
Yeah.
been made in a lab.
Yeah.
And it's not necessary to include anything that's been made in the lab. So
Do you get this? Where does it come out of? Like a Sunshine Coast, like a factory or something here? Or?
That.
yeah, we make it here
Yeah.
on the sunny coast.
Yeah, how cool.
And we use our tallow and then add what
Does it
is
keep the
needed
mozzies
to
away?
add. It keeps the mozzies away. Actually, bit of anecdotal evidence of keeping the horseflies away as well and ticks.
Oh,
Yeah,
nice.
it's
Oh,
really
wow.
good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, we've
Amazing.
had we've had a lot of nutritionists and other people on farms and whatnot test this out before we brought it to market.
Yeah.
It's like so hard in a podcast because it doesn't go for hours, but you could, really get in the weeds with each
Yes.
product
Yeah.
and bore people. And that's why I try and talk quickly because I don't want to go on and bore people because I know everyone's time poor. And,
Yeah.
so that's where it started with the tallow, was like really getting with the weeds of where it was coming from start to finish. So we know that the process is absolutely the cleanest of the clean. We actually label it, pack it, and send it from ours. So we know, like, thanks to everyone that actually orders, because we pack your order.
Yeah.
So we inspect every glass jar and
Yeah.
that goes out. We just don't have packing facilities that do that because we want to make sure the product we send out is the best.
Yeah.
It's the same as, so with the tallow skincare, we've got like a zinc,
What do we got here?
and then this is a matcha.
Oh,
That's my baby.
Yeah, that's Bridie's baby.
Yeah.
She loves matcha. I'm
Yeah.
not like crazy into matcha, but Brides loves it. So she's been researching where that comes from quite a lot. And
It's all the rage now, isn't it, Matcha?
Yeah, I'm a matcha gal.
yeah,
I know the answer to this, but because I can see you light up when you talk about these products and what the experience of doing. But has it given you more energy in your business, like this new reinvention of how you're putting things out there?
Yeah.
Like, clearly you love this experiment.
Yeah.
Not experiment, but
but it is.
yeah,
like,
well,
it is to a point. It's like, how much better can we make our product than what's on the market?
Mm.
And the sad thing is, it's kind of easy to.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of product on the market right now that isn't that great.
Mm.
And we're reading these like cool marketing labels that you think, oh, that looks awesome. And then you get home and it tastes great. But then you read the packet on the back and it's, when you start educating yourself, it's not that great for you.
No.
So, that's where we are always, what excites me is when we're finding products that are the best, and then it allows us to bring it to market. When you see like the products that we do have, it isn't a huge amount, but the reason being is it could be like 3 to 4 times the amount of products on our online store, but we want to make sure they're perfect before we bring them to market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel now you've got a young family? Like, how do you feel about, knowing that you're giving them the best of the best?
Yeah, well, that's a big part of the drive. Absolutely. Because when you know better, you do better. I said that before, but it's hard to go back as
Yes.
well when you know better to go
Yeah.
backwards.
You don't know what you don't know. And as soon as, even just you guys talking to me now, I'm like, where am I getting my lunch? Where did I get my lunch the other day? And what oils are they cooking with? They're definitely cooking with seed oils, that place. Or,
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
start
but
to
80-20, man, I think you got it like sometimes.
You do your best.
Yeah, you do your best.
And I mean, the Sunshine Coast is a very conscious place in terms of health and wellness. I think it is a bit of a bubble in a good way in that sense. But it's educating, spreading the word, and having podcasts where we can talk in detail about some of these things,
Yeah.
which is epic.
Yeah, it is epic. Thanks for asking the questions.
That's okay. I know you guys are busy and you've got 1,000 businesses to run. What's next for you? Like, are we going to send this all around the world, Australia, other states? What's next in the world of Mitch and Brydie?
Yeah, well, I guess like enjoying family time at the moment is incredible, and we really want to focus on being better every single day with, you know, our babies that we have, like as in our humans.
Our humans we got out there on the farm.
Yeah, but our also business babies, so Glass and, you know, like I still shake, which is I'm really fortunate to do. So it's just being better every day, and yeah, I guess like long term growing, but that I feel like that organically then does come into growth when you're doing something that feels right for you.
And Brydie, you've gone from, you know, teaching to into a business you weren't really wanting to be in at the beginning, but now I can see you completely light up about this. What's the favorite part of your business and your life right now in all of this?
That's a good question. I feel like life's fun at the moment. As you know, when you're working around the children, it's hard to find balance and between what you're passionate in each, career wise, but obviously your family. That's like what's going to come first. And I think what lights me up in this space is that this business lends itself to our kids because we're continuing to develop products and go deeper and deeper in our knowledge, which is only going to benefit our community, and our children are involved in that community. So I don't see us stopping in the products realm anytime soon. I think once we find another problem, we'll sort another solution and release something else that is that solution. I think we're at the tip of the iceberg as far as Glass Wholefoods is concerned. So continuing to strengthen that.
So good. Mitch, when's the next reno at Glass? Just kidding. No, it looks great. You don't need to do that.
Actually.
Oh, really? Yeah.
There's always little things going on there.
Yeah, well, I got good plans for the front space. So.
Oh,
You'll see me.
You're the interior designer, aren't you?
Well, actually, no, I'm not. We've got a beautiful friend, Nick, who helps us out. Shout out to Studio Nicholas. He's so incredible. Helps us out with the interior space, especially this last one. It
needs to be done properly.
Yeah,
we say that every time. Yeah, this is the last time we'll do it.
Yeah.
But I just gather like the boys and the crew that come into our community is insane in the cafe. Like people come in, like, I'll help you out. I'll jump on the tools. Yeah. And we wing it, until we had Nick come in and go, okay, this needs to be properly done.
But it happened that way too. We were having a coffee, coffee with Nick, and I said, oh, what do you think about Lemonex? And I showed him this beautiful sort of old school colours in a modern kitchen. And he's like, let me do something up for you. And then, Glass, as you know, it was born.
Nice. I love that about Glass. Every time I go in there, and if you happen to be in there, Mitch, you don't get much work done in that day because every single person holds you up. Goes, did you go for a surf this morning? Or, but you give everyone the time of day as well. And so do you, Brydie. And that's what makes it so great as well.
That's it.
It's because we're grateful. We're so grateful for everybody who comes along and supports.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, now we get to, feed them and fuel them with better fuel.
Amazing. Love what you're doing. It's so inspiring to see from the outside looking in. And every time I go to Glass, I'm just like, this tastes amazing. This service feels great and it feels warm. It feels like a family in there. And you're doing a great job. You're doing amazing things. So thank you so much for taking a bit of time out of your day to come in here and chat to us all about that.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Tommy.
You're doing a great job too.
Yeah, you are too.
Oh, thank you. I like to finish off the podcast with this question, and that is, where do you find yourself at most peace?
I like surfing a lot. So
you still you get enough time in your day to get out most mornings?
Not all the time, but when I do, I think like I enjoy it more now because I'm not out there surfing all the time.
The same, small windows, like
small windows.
20 minutes is like, yes.
Yeah, but if I get to drive to Noosa, surf Tea Tree, 3-foot day, that is peace.
That's your place. What about you, Brydie?
I would say I think calm in our family unit is my peaceful place at the moment. Finding balance between all of my hats and meeting my kids' needs.
What does that look like? Where is it in the backyard? Is it in a pool? Where are your kids and you? Or just in the home?
Just in the home.
Yeah.
Our kids like swimming. They're beach babes. As Mitch mentioned before, they're true. I think they're 6th generation Sunshine Coasters. So beach, pool, outside, kicking the ball, and arts and crafts. Yeah, just going with the flow, whatever they need.
Beautiful. Love it. Thank you so much for coming in, living beautiful, authentic lives and inspiring as always. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tommy.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching the show. This podcast is truly a passion project for me and the small but awesome team behind the scenes. We pour our hearts into bringing you these honest and insightful conversations, but I can't tell you how much it helps when you hit that follow or subscribe button. The show gets bigger, which means we can expand the production and we can continue to bring in amazing guests from all walks of life. Please help us to do this thing that we love and hit that follow or subscribe button. We appreciate you being here. Thank you.